This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right. How you feeling, my man?
Feeling great. Oh, how are you?
Very good. I see Isaiah Wong is working out for the Lakers and the Heat. And what do we know about Isaiah Wong? Does he have a shot at getting drafted?
Yeah, I think he will. I think he's probably going to be a second-round pick, somewhere in the 40s to 50s. I think there's some NBA teams who obviously like him, and being a second-round pick, usually a team is really into you, right? And if they like you in the second round, they want you to be on the roster, or at the very least, in their organization. So I think Isaiah Wong's going to make it, man. He's going to be on an NBA team at some point.
Yeah, I was hoping he'd come back one more year. I don't know if he needs the money or something like that, or I don't know what his financial, situation is. Kevin Riley, Mario has recruited several running backs now. It looks like he's building up that group there. Tell me a little bit about Kevin Riley. Tell the Canes fans what's Kevin Riley about.
Yeah, top 100 recruit in this class. Kid out of the Tuscaloosa, Alabama area. Right there in Nick Saban's backyard, so it's never really over until it's over, right? Until the kid signs on the dotted line. But for right now, he's really into Miami. He shut down basically the rest of his recruitment to commit to the Hurricanes after a visit, and really good player, 5'11", 195 pounds, explosive. Can do a lot of things in the passing game as well. I think ultimately here, like you said, Mario's doing a phenomenal job recruiting some elite ball carriers. I think ultimately, this coming season, we will see the air raid offense. We will see Tyler Van Dyke throw it a lot. We will see a lot of spread. But at his core, I've tried to tell you over and over again, and as well as other Canes fans, Mario Cristobal loves to run the football, and he's got a stable of backs. Mark Fletcher is going to be a guy as a true freshman this year, I think, that's going to make an impact. And then Christopher Johnson as well, a very speedy guy who you'll probably see on some special teams and kickoff return, etc. You have some guys that are really fast and explosive, and they need more of that in this offense for sure.
I have no problem with running the ball. I'm actually really happy if you run the hell out of the ball. Because if you run the hell out of the ball, you make your quarterback that much more dangerous. That's one of the things that pissed me off about McDaniel last year, is that when he had the running game going, he would abandon it at times. And to me, that puts your offense at a disadvantage, and you put your quarterback at a disadvantage when you're forcing the pass on a consistent basis, and there isn't enough of the run game to kind of complement. So to me, that'll be something refreshing to see them get back to it, because if you go think about those championship years, okay, yeah, Michael Irvin was running and all those guys, but there was always somebody to hand it off to, bro, and there was always an impactful running back making an impact, in that game on a consistent basis. In fact, one of the biggest losses ever was because you didn't stay with the run in Highsmith and Jimmy Johnson in the Fiesta Bowl, where all you had to do was just keep handing the ball off, because the way they were playing defense, they were flooding the zone, waiting for you to pass, and Highsmith was getting 6 yards a carry. So to me, running is never an issue, because eventually it makes you a more potent passer if you run.
They didn't have the linemen to run the football when Mario first got here, at least not run the ball the way that he wanted to. That's been an area that's been lacking, and obviously they addressed that in the offseason. Got some really good transfers in here from UCF and Alabama, two guys, Matt Lee and Javian Cohen, that are going to make a huge difference, I think, in the inside in terms of running the ball between the tackles, which is what Mario wants to do. He wants to have that pounded out and keep the other team's offense off the field. That's how they won at Oregon. They ran for a boatload of yards at Oregon, and they won, two Pac-12 titles with him playing this way. So I know it could anger some fans, especially those who wanted to see Oregon throw the ball more and use some of their weapons. But I think right now Mario's got to play to his strengths. And while this team will throw the football with Tyler Van Dyke this coming season, I think you look at it down the road, you look at a guy like Jakari Brown, how explosive he is in the running game. You get some dangerous backs in there with him, and he's the quarterback once Tyler Van Dyke leaves. Hey, if they're running for 250 yards and beating teams by possessing the football, I'm all for it.
When is the remodeling of the practice facility going to end? Is that something that goes into 2025 or 2024? What's the deal?
Well, as far as just the indoor practice facility and the upgrades that they're making there, those are pretty much done. You're talking about the big massive football center that they want to build.
Extending the field, right, and all that kind of stuff that they have to do. I haven't been by there, so I don't know.
Right.
I have to ignorance. I don't know if they've started the construction of all of that stuff.
Yeah, I think they already started doing all that kind of stuff. In terms of they have to be ready for the football season, right? So I think all of that has been in the works.
I don't know permits and Coral Gables and I don't know all that, all that kind of shit. It gets kind of crazy. So that's why I asked. Is that so? They're going to have their 120-yard field for the football season? Is that what you're saying?
I think they are. I think that's already been in the process of happening. And then as far as the overall football facility, the space age thing that Mario wants, that's the bigger deal. That's the thing that they've been raising all that money for, and trying to get going. And that's not going to be for another 3 or 4 years probably, from what I was told the last time I had a conversation with some folks over there about that. So that's still a long ways off. But in terms of upgrading the facilities, making it 100 yards, all that other kind of stuff, I think that process already started.
Well, Manny, when we start talking about the recruiting time here, what's this window here? When does it close?
Well, now the official visit period will end. I think after the 25th. I think that's the last weekend. Before things kind of go dark and you're not allowed to have official visitors again, I think, until the football season. So, but listen, nowadays kids make all kinds of unofficial visits and they come by campus whenever they want. There's going to be guys coming by once practice starts pretty regularly. The unofficial visits are almost more important than the official visits in my mind, though, because where the kids go, where they are, and where they spend most of their free time when they're not on official visits tells you who they're really considering. And so, when kids show up to practice, when they show up to games, that'll tell you how Miami's doing on the recruiting trail.
Baseball, what's going to happen there?
Yeah, I think they're in the process of interviewing guys. I know they've interviewed a handful of guys. At least that's what I've heard anyway. I think Troy Tulowitzki was one, a former Texas assistant coach.
Colorado
Rocky.
Rocky.
Yeah, obviously JT Arteaga has been there, the pitching coach for many, many years. I know they took a look at him. Paul Maneri with LSU is another name that's been out there. Paul, of course, went to Miami-Dade College. And was here in South Florida for many, many years. Won national championships at LSU. He's kind of an older guy now, but still a guy who knows how to run a baseball program. So, there's been names sort of shuffled around. I don't know that they're racing to make a decision. I think this is an important one for them. They've had a program I know it hasn't gotten to the College World Series in a few years, but they're still a 40-plus win program every single year. There's still a lot of talent to work with in this area. So they want to make the right kind of hire, and the Damari thing I know did catch them off guard. I know that they were very surprised that he decided to step down as coach.
Is it too hard to win there now?
I think it is, though. I think, unfortunately, when you're a private school and you're costing upwards of $60,000 a year in tuition, and baseball scholarships can only get stretched so far, NIL can only stretch you so far. I think it's tough. And look, the University of Florida, I've always said this, if the Gators take off, and they've won a College World Series not too long ago. They've been there in the final a couple times. It looks like they're going to go to the final again this year. When they're thriving, that makes things really hard on Miami, because I think all of the best players want to go play for a program that A, is a cheaper school than Miami, and B, is contending for championships, right? And putting guys into Major League Baseball frequently. So that's a disadvantage you are when you're a private school, and unfortunately for Miami, right now the Gators have it rolling.
And FSU is also more affordable than University of Miami.
FSU,
I just find it just seems like you're at a disadvantage at the University of Miami because parents can only pay so much, and unless you're recruiting a kid that his parents have money and they don't care about paying the tuition, well, then, then you're good. But if they care about paying the tuition because they can only afford so much, well, then you're going to lose them to Florida and Florida State and FAU and FIU and all these other places.
Yeah, and I think the transfer portal makes it that much harder too, because there's some good players that come here as true freshmen that, they got older guys in front of them that are better, that are more developed. Some of those guys don't want to wait around, and so you're seeing the transfer portal affect Miami and other programs where guys are going to take off and say, hey, I can go to Louisville, I can go to Duke, I can go wherever, and have the same type of opportunity to make it to the College World Series. And so I think those things are going to happen more and more. So you're right. I think it is harder to win in Coral Gables these days than before. But to me, the main factor is University of Florida. When Florida is rolling the way that they are, it makes things really tough.
Yep, no doubt about that. All right, follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. What do you got going on in the athletics so folks can check you out?
Yeah, this week on Friday and Saturday, the Under Armour Future 50 is taking place over at IMG Academy. I'll be driving up there for that. A lot of the elite national kids in the 2025 class. So I'll have a report from there from some of the best kids that Mario Cristobal will be going after next cycle. What else? Thursday, I believe, is Miami's big camp for underclassmen. So there'll be some coverage from Coral Gables for that as well. That'll be going on, I think, from 11 to 1 p.m. So I'll be down there watching that and observing that, and more recruiting, man. More coverage of that. The Gators, by the way, I know this is a Canes show, but Gators, Billy Napier kicking some ass on the trail right now. They've gotten 5 blue chip players here in the last 48 hours, 72 hours. So Mario's got some competition.
All right, there we go. Let's find out. And remember, go to Caneswear, order over $99. You'll get free shipping. But if you want to drive over at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, go check it out for yourself. They got practically anything and everything with the Canes logo on it. Plus, you can go get a Messi jersey. You can get InterMiami gear. Get ready for that Messi, homecoming here. And then, of course, they've got Marlins gear. They've got Dolphins.
Those Marlins.
Gear. Yeah, baby. Yeah, come on. The Marlins are red hot right now. So enjoy that. And go to Caneswear or visit them at caneswear.com. Manny, appreciate you. We'll catch up on Friday. Thank you.
All right, brother. Talk soon. Take care.
You got it. That's our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report.
If you...
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.